Oh, hi, I was just reading In the Arena.
Oh.
Welcome back. Time to find out what we got wrong and what we missed from TV's Andy Levy at the Red Eye News Deck. Hey, Andy.
Hey, Tom. Hey, how's the book?
It's great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What were you reading about?
I was reading about the...
Don't look at it. Just tell me what you're reading about.
I was reading about In the Arena.
Wow.
Oh, pop quiz.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good job.
All right. Is never Trump, maybe Trump. So you played that clip, Tom, after Bill Kristol says, on the one hand, never Trump, but never say never. The radio host goes, okay, fair enough. How is that fair enough?
I mean, it's fair enough. He doesn't want to commit.
You can't use the word never if you don't want to commit.
Never. I guess never
Well,
means...
it's a double negative.
It depends on what the definition of never is.
Yeah. And he says one hand. That's the whole reason of on the one hand, on the other hand. He's got a never Trump hand, and he's got a love you Trump hand.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
A bird in the hand. Bird to never Trump.
DeVito, you said looking to 2020 isn't a good plan for Republicans considering who they've got. Rubio 2020 , obviously.
Ooh, I'm getting a tingle down my leg.
Right?
Is he going to still be drooling on himself there?
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard good things about him. Heard he's a great candidate.
Yeah? When did you hear that?
Yeah.
Not in the past year and a half.
In 2014, I was assured that Rubio was a great candidate.
I see him peaking around 3,085, so
Oh, okay. Wow.
where the smart money goes.
All right. Pete, you said some Republicans might turn to Trump depending on how much the left overreacts, which is a fair point, I guess. But that is like the definition of reactionary, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, listen, when you dig into the trenches and say, I'm never, it's tough to walk back from that. I just think as the contrast becomes clearer, you're going to see people just by default. And, hey, a default vote is the same as an enthusiastic vote.
Absolutely.
So if we can get them, hey, take them.
All right. Apparently, looking at Bill Kristol, it's not that hard to get out of the trench.
It's kind of the kind of never.
Yeah. Ali, you said you could vote for Gary Johnson, and Pete, you said the reality is that's a vote for Hillary Clinton. But it's not. It's a vote for Gary Johnson.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean,
Slash Hillary Clinton?
No, it's not. It's just not.
It is Gary Johnson.
Yes.
Okay. What you said.
Joanne, you mentioned a 16% spike in searching for the Libertarian Party.
I did.
I'm actually not sure what the exact number was. I couldn't find it. I think I had seen either 16 or 18. But you're absolutely correct. Searches for the Libertarian Party, Gary Johnson, and that wacko John McAfee did all spike significantly Tuesday night.
Which I think is really good. It's about like being educated and making a decision based on all the options.
Absolutely. And voting for Gary Johnson.
Yep.
Yeah. And not Hillary Clinton. Pete?
Sorry. Yeah, as I was.
Pete, you talked about Hillary moving to the left, but then talked about how some of Trump's policies are actually center-left. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that if you call non-interventionism a policy of the left, Trump is to the left of Hillary on foreign policy.
You're exactly right. Yeah. And as an Iraq vet myself, it's frustrating to watch him use the same talking points that the left does about Iraq being an inevitable disaster, when what he should do is point at Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama and say, you gave up on the surge, you're the reason we have ISIS. I hope he latches onto that. I've seen some indications that he might, and that would be the right way to go.
Yeah. If he does, he will probably then say he was always in support of the Iraq War.
But potentially, that might be tough.
Yeah. Just a couple of things. According to spokespeople for Bush's 41 and 43, neither have any plans to endorse Trump or be involved in the election in any way. I thought that was interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah. Tom, put the book down.
Thanks, Tom.
Chanel holds a fashion show in Cuba. Ali, you said this was in bad taste, and Pete, you talked about them giving out berets in honor of Che Guevara. Yeah, this is from InStyle magazine's review. Che, said Gisele Bundchen. Che, she screamed to the photographers who had trailed her, blah, blah, blah. She wore a red dress and a black beret, a supermodel adopting the style of the guerrilla leader. It's just pathetic.
The furthest thing from a guerrilla leader.
Yeah. Is she the one that's married? Is she married to Tom Brady?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
that's what I heard.
It's hard to know. Now I don't know which of them I despise more. This is interesting. I have a lot to think about tonight. Tom, you said you don't know what the per capita income is in Cuba.
Yeah.
I believe the average income is around $20 a month.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, how about sending over food? That would have been a lot better than a Chanel fashion show.
Yeah, exactly.
Or booze. I mean, you can't buy a drink for that amount.
But free vaccinations, Andy.
Yes, very true.
Yeah,
very true. Joanne, you said fashion isn't about art, it's about self-expression.
It isn't about capitalism. It's about art and self-expression.
Oh, okay. Joanne, you said fashion isn't about capitalism, it's about art and self-expression.
Thank you. Yes, it is.
We can edit the first part out. As one proprietor of a Havana boutique said, quote, "There isn't really a fashion industry. The Cuban system is based on social needs and values and does not put emphasis on fashion trends or anything of its kind."
Andy, I read that in the story.
Yeah, I read that too.
I know. I just think that was interesting because I would think there's no fashion industry more for the fact that the average Cuban makes $20 a month.
Andy, are you
that's
okay?
like one person.
Yeah. Yeah. Did someone ask if I was okay?
I did.
Yeah, I'm fine. Why?
You sound like you had a head injury.
Really?
Just, I'm concerned for you.
Okay. All right. DeVito.
Yeah, oh, yes.
You said something dumb, and then... No, I'm kidding. You said even the tourist dollars are going to go straight to the Castros and not to the Cuban people.
Yeah.
The actress Natalie Morales wrote a piece a couple of months ago urging people who visit Cuba to stay in people's homes instead of hotels. She says that'll help bypass the government.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That's what Cuban people want. A bunch of gringos. Yeah, what kind of breakfast? Any of them Cuban sandwiches with the pickles in them? Yeah.
You know, is there no Airbnb in Cuba?
There's no air conditioning. There may not be beds, and there's probably no breakfast either. So I'm going to say no. There's none of those three things in Cuba.
No breakfast.
UMass Amherst social justice requirement. Tom, I noticed you pronounced it Amherst. Is that how it's said in Massachusetts?
UMass Amherst.
Okay, I'm just asking because I've always heard Amherst. Like the H is kind of silent?
No, in Massachusetts we say Amherst.
All right, that's why I asked. I think you're wrong, though. DeVito, you brought up socialism.
I did.
But the classes they're talking about they're not socialist in the sense that they're not about teaching Marxist economics.
No, I meant overall that the universities have a socialist leftist bent to them.
Okay, that's what I thought. Ali, you asked, shouldn't they just be focused on learning? I guess the idea here is that by teaching ways of looking at things through the eyes of other people, it broadens your horizons and helps you to learn by opening your mind rather than just being spoon-fed stuff. It's sort of a counter to the argument that history is written by the victor. It's forcing you to look at things from other perspectives. That's the argument.
Sure. I guess, I mean, I was just trying to say, if everyone's getting along for the most part, just get along. You don't have to choose to take up an issue.
Well, they're not getting along, though. They hate each other.
Oh, in that case.
Yeah. I'm done.
Thank you, Eddie.